To understand why I walked out that door without a word, you have to understand the dynamic of the house I grew up in. I am 2 years older than my sister Lexi. From the moment she was born, she was the undisputed center of my parents' universe. Lexi was loud, dramatic, and demanding. She did competitive dance, pageants, and eventually, social media. My parents poured every ounce of their time, energy, and money into her. I was what psychologists call a glass child. I was transparent. Because I was quiet, got straight A's, and never caused trouble, my parents assumed they didn't need to parent me. If I had a school play on the same night as Lexi's dance recital, my parents went to the recital. If I needed help with a science project, I was told to figure it out. Because Lexi needed help picking out a dress. When I turned 16, I didn't get a sweet 16 party. My mother told me money was tight because Lexi needed private tumbling lessons. I spent my 16th birthday eating a microwave dinner alone in my bedroom, while my parents drove Lexi to a competition 3 states away. But my 18th birthday? That was supposed to be different. For 6 months, my parents had been promising me a real celebration. We agreed on a beautiful Italian restaurant downtown, followed by a weekend trip to a cozy cabin, just the three of us, while Lexi stayed with a friend. It was going to be the first time in a decade that I had my parents all to myself. I bought a beautiful emerald green dress with my own money from my part-time job at a bookstore. I had it hanging on the back of my door for a month, just staring at it, waiting for the day I finally got to feel special. 3 days before my birthday, the atmosphere in the house shifted. Lexi had been obsessively tracking her TikTok follower count. She was stuck at 99,000 for weeks, and she was miserable. When Lexi was miserable, she made sure the entire house suffered. She threw tantrums, slammed doors, and refused to eat. My parents were frantic, constantly trying to soothe her anxiety. On the eve of my birthday, at around 11:30 p.m., I heard a piercing scream from Lexi's bedroom. I jumped out of bed, thinking she was hurt. My parents rushed into her room ahead of me. I stood in the doorway, my heart pounding, only to see Lexi jumping up and down on her bed, crying tears of joy. She had hit 100,000. My parents hugged her, practically weeping with pride. "We are so proud of you, baby," my dad cheered. "You're a star." I stood in the doorway, completely unnoticed. At midnight, the clock struck 12. It was officially my 18th birthday. Nobody looked at me. I quietly retreated to my room and went to sleep. I woke up the next morning feeling hopeful. I thought, okay, she had her moment last night. Today is my day. I took a shower, did my hair, and put on a nice outfit. I walked downstairs expecting to smell pancakes or hear a happy birthday. Instead, I walked into a kitchen completely transformed. There were pink and gold balloons everywhere. A massive custom cake was sitting on the island with a ring light set up next to it, and the banner. "Congratulations on 100,000, Lexi." My mom was frantically arranging a platter of pastries, while my dad was setting up a tripod for Lexi to film a thank you video. "Mom?" I said softly. She jumped, startled. "Oh, Avery, good morning. Listen, grab a bagel and head out of the frame. Lexi is coming down in a minute to film her reaction." I stood frozen. "Mom, it's my birthday." She stopped arranging the pastries and let out a long, exhausted sigh. The kind of sigh you give a toddler who is asking for too much. "I know, Avery, we didn't forget. But Lexi just hit a massive career milestone. We're going to host a brunch for her influencer friends today. We'll do your Italian dinner next week, okay? Or maybe next month. We just don't have the budget to do both right now." "You canceled my 18th birthday?" My voice cracked. "We've been planning this for 6 months. I bought a dress." My dad stepped in, looking irritated. "Avery, don't be selfish. Your sister has worked for years to build her platform. She deserves this more right now. You're 18. You're an adult today. Start acting like one. Those words echoed in my head. I looked at my father. I looked at my mother. I looked at the extravagant pink cake they had bought for a 16-year-old social media app, paid for with the money that was supposed to fund my 18th birthday. In that exact moment, something inside me permanently snapped. The desperate, aching little girl who just wanted her mommy and daddy to love her died. I didn't feel sad anymore. I felt absolutely, chillingly hollow. Okay, I said softly. My parents looked relieved. Thank you for understanding, sweetie. My mom smiled, turning back to the pastries. You can stay in your room while her friends are here so you aren't in the background of her videos. I turned around and walked back upstairs. I didn't cry. I didn't throw my emerald green dress on the floor. I opened my closet, pulled out my large duffel bag, and began to pack. Because I had been preparing for college, I already knew exactly where my important documents were. My birth certificate, my social security card, my passport. Because I was officially 18 as of midnight, I had full legal rights to myself. They couldn't call the police and report me as a runaway. I was a legal adult. I had been working at the bookstore for 2 years, quietly saving every single paycheck in a joint account my dad had to open for me when I was 16. I knew that at 18 I could legally transfer it out. I sat on my bed, opened my banking app, and transferred my entire life savings, about $12,000, into a new private account I had set up online just days prior in anticipation of turning 18. I packed my laptop, my clothes, my sentimental items, and my toiletries. Downstairs, the doorbell was ringing. I could hear the high-pitched squeals of Lexi's friends arriving. Loud pop music started vibrating through the floorboards. Nobody was paying attention to me. I was completely invisible. So, I decided to make it permanent. I zipped up my duffel bag and put on my backpack. I took my house key off my keychain and left it sitting perfectly in the center of my meticulously made bed. Beside it, I left a single piece of paper. I didn't write a long, emotional letter. I didn't explain how much they hurt me. They didn't deserve my words. I just wrote, I'm an adult now. Goodbye. I walked down the back staircase, slipped out the laundry room door, and walked out into the crisp morning air. I didn't look back. I walked a mile to the local transit station, bought a train ticket to a city 4 hours away where my best friend, Sarah, had already moved for early college enrollment. Sarah and her family knew exactly how my parents treated me. When I called Sarah from the train and told her what happened, her mom immediately told me I had a place to stay for as long as I needed. I sat by the window of the train, watching the scenery blur past. I pulled out my phone. I didn't just block my parents and sister. I factory reset my phone, popped out the SIM card, threw it in the trash can on the train, and fully detached myself from their network. I was a ghost. I later found out from a mutual family friend what happened when they realized I was gone. It took them until 8 p.m. to even notice I wasn't in the house. The brunch had ended, the house was a mess, and my mother went upstairs to ask me to come down and clean the kitchen for them. She found the key. She found the note. Apparently, my dad tried to call the police to report me missing. The dispatcher asked for my date of birth. When my dad gave it, the dispatcher bluntly informed him that I was an 18-year-old adult. I had left a note indicating I left voluntarily, and no crime had been committed. They refused to send a squad car. They tried to log into my bank account and saw it was completely drained. For the first time in 18 years, they realized they had absolutely zero control over me. It has been 4 years since that morning. I am now 22 years old. I put myself through college using my savings, scholarships, and working 2 jobs. I graduated with a degree in computer science. I have a beautiful apartment, an incredible chosen family, and a life filled with peace. My sister's TikTok fame fizzled out about a year after I left. The algorithm changed, her views dropped, and she was left with no college degree, no job skills, and a massive ego that the real world refused to cater to. She still lives at home. Over the years, my parents have desperately tried to find me. They've reached out through old friends, tried to find my LinkedIn, and even showed up at Sarah's mom's house begging for my address. Sarah's mom slammed the door in their faces. They sent me an email once. I don't know how they found my work email. It was a long, rambling message about how they missed me, how they didn't understand why I was being so cruel, and how families should forgive each other. I read the email. I smiled. And then I dragged it directly to the trash folder. When you grow up as the invisible child, you are taught that your value is tied to how much you can endure without complaining. You are taught to accept breadcrumbs and call it a feast. But walking out that door on my 18th birthday taught me the most valuable lesson of my life. You do not have to negotiate your worth with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is stop fighting for a seat at a table where you were never respected. You don't have to scream. You don't have to seek revenge. You just have to stand up, pack your bags, and build your own table somewhere else. Thank you for letting me share my story today. If you have ever had to walk away from toxic family to protect your own peace, drop a comment below and let me know you're out there. We are in this together. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more daily stories, and remember, your peace is worth protecting at all costs. See you in the next one.